It's fair to say that nobody expected Lorna Shore to reach this point. A band that started in small New Jersey clubs, rooted in breakdowns and blackened riffs, but now pulling in millions of streams across the world and about to release perhaps the biggest deathcore album in the genre's history. They never chased the mainstream, but somehow the mainstream found them. And now with I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me, they're not just following up Pain Remains, they're stepping into an even darker and bigger chapter.
We've been working on this for so long. It's gonna be good. I'm stoked.
This is the story of Lorna Shore's I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me, from studio pressure to the anguish of the vocal prison, and how they overcame years of adversity to get where they are today. With exclusive insight from frontman Will Ramos, this is how years of graft, turmoil, and sheer dedication have resulted in the band's biggest and boldest album to date.
Let's go. Our album, I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me, is the best representation of Lorna Shore that we have had in a very long time. This is our best version of us. You're going to love it.
To understand Everblack, we need to rewind. Lorna Shore's early years were turbulent. Formed in New Jersey in 2009, they rose through the underground metal scene, transitioning from a more traditional metalcore sound on their first EP, Triumph, to leading with more technical riffs, blackened atmospheres, and breakdowns on releases such as Bone Kingdom, Psalms, Flesh Coffin, and Immortal.
We're Lorna Shore. Let's get the f*** up. Let's have a good time. Yo, shut the f***
The band built steadily during these years, and even had their first viral moment with Heavy Metal Cats in 2014. But by 2018, things hit breaking point, with longtime vocalist Tom Barber departing for Chelsea Grin and his replacement CJ McCreary leaving after just a year in the band due to allegations involving alleged sexual abuse. This was then followed by a global pandemic that could have buried the band there and then. But along came Will Ramos. Will was no stranger to the metal scene. In 2014, he began performing with his first band, Secrets Don't Sleep. He would later join deathcore bands Flawed Savior and Awake in Providence. And by the time he joined Lorna Shore, he was also a member of metalcore band A Monument of a Memory and death metal band Euclid. Will would join Lorna Shore in March 2020 as a touring vocalist to help steady the ship. But whilst the band was looking to get back out on the road and rebuild after a few turbulent years, the world had other ideas.
On the deadliest day of the pandemic yet in the United States.
I'm Ken Bastida here in California. Hours ago, the governor announced a new stay-at-home order. Now, this is why more than 18,000 new cases in just the past 24 hours.
Metal lives and breathes in the live environment. Performance fees and merch make the bulk of a band's income in the modern era. But a new culture was also developing simultaneously that would allow the scene to thrive despite being in lockdown.
Oh my god, they're doing it slower but faster. What?
I better see this live. Ooh, would you? He need a cough drop. He needs a cough drop.
Reaction videos have a long history on YouTube, but by 2020, they were very much starting to take shape as a key influence in the metal world for how fans would find and consume music. This made for perfect timing with To the Hellfire. a single that redefined deathcore and introduced Ramos as not just a replacement, but a revelation. By the time their album Pain Remains dropped in 2022, they just exploded online with millions of streams. The world also reopened and the band was selling out venues wherever they went. It wasn't just heavy, it was cinematic, operatic, and emotional. But with success comes the inevitable pressure. Because how do you follow an album that redefines your whole genre?
We've been working on this for so long. It feels like we've had more studio time than we've ever had. And for that reason, we put a lot of everything that we've ever had, like all of us, into it, like the best version of all of us. And we're very excited to just finally get it out there, finally have somebody listen to what's going on. It's going to be good. I'm stoked.
That free time created what Ramos jokingly calls his vocal prison. Locked in a studio space with demo tracks from guitarist Adam D'Amico, Will would listen obsessively, layering vocals, rhythms, and lyrics.
I get stuck in a what I call a vocal prison, where it's basically like this little studio room where I got all the rough drafts and I'm just listening to it and I'm like, oh, let's slap some rhythms on it and some vocals and, you know, maybe like rough lyrics that I've had, and let's see how it all adds up. If it lines up good and I'm feeling the vibe of it, you know, we'll keep expanding upon that. But, you know, writing vocals, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but I will say everything definitely starts with Adam. It gets handed off to everybody else, and everybody does their little beautiful finishing touches to make it what the Lorna Shore sound that everybody knows and loves.
And those now legendary vocals? Well, they're not just screams or a gimmick for reactions. Will treats his voice like a pedal board. Each technique, each pitch, each guttural growl is another tool in the box.
It's such a slow and steady process, and a lot of people think they could just get it like immediately, but a lot of it is, there's no way to teach somebody this. You just got to learn it on your own. It's all internal. For vocals, it's completely different. There is no pedal. You are that pedal, exactly like what you're saying. And the same way where you guys experiment with pedals and you get a whole bunch of different pedals and then eventually you find that sound that you like, that's the same exact thing that I do with my vocals. I picked up a little bit of everything from all of my favorite vocalists growing up, you know, whether it was like Eddie Hermida, from All Shall Perish. I honestly, a whole bunch of bands that nobody even listens to anymore, I guarantee. All of those little stepping stones have definitely brought me to where I am now, and I'm just stoked that my voice is still in a good, healthy spot, and people are still listening to it. Let's put it that way. I like to think of it like a tool chest. You know, I'm like, ooh, what do we got? Oh, we got the breakdown tool. Let's take that one out of the thing. Boom, super heavy vocals. Okay, now we gotta do some like pitch screaming. Like, boom, let's slam that in there. So it's been a journey, but we're here. We made it.
So what does I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me actually sound like? In a word, massive. The first single, Oblivion, is a towering display of cinematic deathcore, blast beats meets orchestral swells, and where sorrow bleeds into rage. But Will insists this record goes beyond just brutality.
It is very true to every single one of us. We all put our heart and soul into it. There's so much diversity for everybody that really likes, whether they want to hear heavy stuff or they want to hear something a little bit halfway into some other genre.
And at the core of the band, the songwriting process starts with Adam's instrumentals, but evolve as each member adds their own DNA, with the production handled by longtime collaborator Josh Schroeder being obsessively refined over. Will tested mics, tones, placements, eventually choosing a single mic that cut through everything.
I like to stick to SC Electronics mics. Those are the ones that I usually use live. Unfortunately, in the studio, we didn't have very much SC Electronics, so it was we tried a bunch of different mics. In the end, we just stuck to one. Then it was just like, let's just use this. This one just sounds better. We just ended up sticking with one microphone the entire time.
But Everblack isn't just technical perfection. It's a record soaked in emotion. The range of influences, from In Flames to Sleep Token, also seep through.
I'm so stoked that now Lorna is like, we're in a place where I feel like I'm finally getting that itch scratched out of me. You know what I mean? It's not just all heavy all the time. It's deep. It means something to me. And I think In Flames they are the perfect epitome of that band, you know, and I think influences go even as far as not just vocal techniques, but literally that mentality. And I think that's why I absolutely love In Flames. I've been listening to Sleep Token for a while now, since before The Summoning. I would say This Place Will Be Your Tomb was probably the album that really got me into them. Sundowning was obviously also really good. I mean, every album that they put out is good, but I've been listening to them for so long at this point, and still to this day, like, my favorite songs are still off of This Place Will Be Your Tomb. I like that song a lot, the Love You Want, just because, like, that is for me just like it's a personal song, it's a vulnerable song, and it starts bringing out those feelings, and it really helps you connect to the song, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do as well vocally, you know.
And it's that same emotional openness that's connected Lorna Shore with so many fans who may not even be into deathcore, and it's intentional.
The more vulnerable you are, hopefully the more people will get in touch with it. People listening to Lorna Shore, sometimes they listen to our songs once and they're like, oh, I heard it now. But it's like, there's so many layers to everything and little things that people don't even notice until, like, I don't know, the 5th listen, the 10th listen.
So how did a band this extreme end up with tens of millions of streams and a burgeoning global fan base? It all comes down to authenticity.
I think at the end of the day is like the most important thing is that we're all true to ourselves. We're not writing something because, freaking, we know this is going to do good. Oh, we're writing this because we saw another band do it. It's like, does this sound good to us? Like, do we love this? Hell yeah. If we don't, then we're not going to do it.
That philosophy shaped Pain Remains, and it's even more true with Everblack. Will jokes that he's heard the songs so many times that he's sick of hearing them.
And honestly, at this point, I've listened to these songs so many times, I pretty much hate them all. But, not really. Like, it's like a love and hate relationship at this point.
But deep down, it's clear that he and the band are proud of this new release. I feel the Everblack Festering Within Me isn't just a follow-up to Pain Remains. It's a statement of an intense, unrelenting 16-year journey to be where they are today. A symphony of chaos, clarity, and adversity, whilst layered with ambition.
For me, I've been very a competitive person my entire life. It's always like, if I'm really into something, I want to be the best at it. Like, and whether that means like learning from other people. And for me, when I was growing up, it was a lot of, what is this vocalist doing? Oh, what is this vocalist doing? How can I learn how to do what this vocalist technique is versus this one?
From basement shows to festival main stages, Lorna Shore's journey has never been easy. But perhaps that's the point, because true evolution doesn't happen in comfort. It festers and grows, and when it finally takes shape, it sounds something like this. Perhaps Will's words on the single Unbreakable sum up the album the best. Writing this was definitely one of the trickiest songs ever for me. We wanted to write a song that would sound and feel absolutely huge. I wanted something that made people feel good when listening or singing it. Essentially a song that you can hear on your worst day and somehow feel like that day was a breeze. Unbreakable is a very triumphant, all-inclusive song written to bring people together for a beautiful moment where they can realize that no matter what this world throws at us, it will never break us down. We and our bonds are unbreakable.
Especially on this new album, we've tried to capitalize on just like all the different feelings that we've experienced over these last couple of years, bringing all of that together. And I hope really deep inside of me, I'm like, I hope that this just translates as well as, Pain Remains did. Because if we love it, maybe everybody else will too.
Thanks for checking out our documentary on Lorna Shore's I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me. Special thanks to Will for taking the time to have a chat with us here at Prime Audio Radio. For the full conversation, you can find that on our YouTube channel, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. To help support the station and bring you more content like this, a follow or subscribe is hugely appreciated. And you can also check out our radio station streaming 24/7 at primeaudioradio.com.
Prime Audio Radio.